Buddy Ryan is in another world these days. Getting put out to pasture is something he had long looked forward to. It's not that he's glad to be out of coaching. He's not. After coaching the Eagles to 3 straight playoffs, he would have liked to have had the chance to finish the job. But Eagles owner Norman Braman apparently figured that 5 years was long enough.
What happened in Philadelphia? What was the bottom line on why you got fired?
Well, I think it was because probably that they were the Buddy Ryan Eagles, and that's where everybody in the league thought of them. That's where everybody in the town, and Norman Braman gave $60 million for him, and I think he wanted to be the Norman Braman Eagles, which you can't blame him, but I think that had a lot to do with, I think, his ego situation.
When you put in McMahon the last game, people were scratching their heads, and Norman Braman said, well, you embarrassed Randall Cunningham. Put that in perspective, would you?
Well, you've been around Jim McMahon, and I've seen Jim McMahon operate in our locker room as an Eagle. And I've seen him rally troops before, and I thought the way our offensive line was blocking so poorly that I put him in there. Maybe he'd fire him up and get him, to protect him a little bit better. Jim McMahon can still play quarterback in this league and probably play better than half of them that are playing. But that was the reason I made a change. I was trying to win the game. We'd been on the 1-yard line, hadn't scored a touchdown. We've been in the playoffs 3 years in a row with Randall Cunningham at quarterback and me as a head coach, and we hadn't scored but 1 touchdown. I mean, so you have to do something to try to win. That's always been my philosophy. The game plan ain't working, throw the son of a bitch away, and let's try to win the ball game at hand. And that's what I was trying to do, and that's what I do again.
Buddy has always marched to his own drum. He says what he thinks, and that's a quality that has endeared him to some while turning others off.
Well, I always try to tell the truth. That's the way I don't have to worry about what I've said. Now, I don't think that's always the case with a lot of people. And they'll say one thing to a player's back, and they'll say another one to his face. Well, I never operate out of that. Whatever I have to say to them, I say it to their face, and they understand that.
You and Ditka, do you think maybe the fact you didn't get along was you were too much alike?
Oh, I hope not. I think Mike took a job because he wanted a head job, and, he had to accept me. There's no question Mr. House already hired me. I hired my defensive coaches. I was a defensive coach. I tried to be nice and do the things the way they're supposed to be done, but I think Mike had a hard time adjusting. I think now that he's matured, that he doesn't have that problem anymore. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Buddy, if an owner came to you and said, look, buddy, I'd like you to coach my football team, would you come back?
Well, sure. I want to coach in the National Football League, and I want to be head coach. I tried to get one job, and they had all kinds of rumors, assistant jobs and everything else, but I only tried to get one job, and that was a Tampa Bay job. And I had a great interview with the owner. In fact, I think if he would have gone with a one-man show that I would have had the job, but he ended up going with a 2-year deal with a general manager and a head coach, and I didn't want that. I wanted to call the personnel shots just like I did in Philadelphia. I had a lot of fun, and I had the most fun in Philadelphia I've had in all my coaching. Everybody thought, man, that was tough. It wasn't tough. Hell, I enjoy tough situations, I guess, because we really had a lot of fun.
Buddy plans to write a book someday. He predicts it'll be a bestseller. He also hopes to settle a Kentucky Derby winner. Whether he succeeds or not, you can be sure of one thing. He'll have fun trying. Brad Palmer, Channel 7, Eyewitness Sports Final.